There were times I go to bed hungry without food. There were
Mm,
times I eat once a day, you
mm.
know, during this process because I just had to get to this point. I just had to get to the UK. So I had to put in everything.
So today with me, I have a phenomenal midwife. She actually migrated from Nigeria to also here in the UK, and she's been working for a while. I've just brought her in to, come here to share her experience with us. Join me as I welcome Joy. She also has a YouTube channel. Please, you guys should go to our YouTube and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hi, Joy.
Hi,
Welcome.
hi.
All
Nice to
right.
be here.
Lovely. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, please. My name is Joy Igonoche, known as Joy to the World on YouTube only, and I'm a registered nurse. I'm a registered midwife. I came into the UK to practice as a midwife, and I've been here for like next month is going to make it my 1 year anniversary, and
Oh, lovely.
yeah, just about me.
So you have all the information to give us because now you're a pro.
Oh, Abio,
So
1 year is not easy.
I just wanted to ask, are you just a registered midwife or you're a registered nurse, registered midwife? And if you studied the two, how long did you study each and where?
Okay. Okay. So I did my midwifery first. That was a 3 years program, basic midwifery. And after doing the midwifery, I went back to the university with the intention of getting my BSc in nursing. But halfway through it, I decided to go to a general nurse, like go for my general nursing, go to a school of nursing for my post basic nursing, and then get my RON. Because I really wanted to go to the UK then, and I felt that UK was not employing midwives; it was just nurses they were employing. So I wanted to get my nursing to be able to apply to the UK to get a job. But like during the program, almost close to my I think hospital final nursing council exams, a friend told me that they were actually recruiting midwives and that I should apply, and I started the journey then. That was like 2021, and I got my post basic nursing, and then on the day that I finished my exam, like wrote my last paper, I think that
Mhm.
was the same day that I did my visa biometrics and did
Oh,
it.
wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow.
it's
So
really
basically, you did your post basic nursing just because of the opportunity of coming to the UK, right?
yes, because the reason I went to the university was to get my BSc, and it was a really really complicated thing. I wanted to get my BSc because having double qualification and having BSc in Nigeria to work is like higher money, you get higher pay, and the more qualifications you get, the more the more your pay slip increases and all of that. But yeah, the sole purpose of me going to the school of nursing, which is to get my post basic, was to apply for a job in the UK.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So, how were you able to now get a job in the
Okay.
UK?
Yeah. So like I said, I heard the information from a friend that I can actually use my midwifery, and I don't have to wait to graduate from School of Nursing to be able to apply for jobs. And I was like, wow. And they put me through, and you were among the people as well that were trying to help us through the process because you were already there at that point, and getting the information, the materials for CBT exams, because I had to write the CBT for midwives exams, and that's another story, another question definitely that
Okay. So, like you said, I think I met you when you were trying to
yeah.
write a CBT. What would you say was the most challenging aspect of trying to migrate to the UK as a
I,
midwife?
yeah, the most challenging aspect is it was during my CBT exams. Like that period was like I was at some point I was now beginning to say, okay, my village people don't want me to come to the UK that time now because I had to sit for my CBT exams 3 times, and it was a
Hmm.
really really devastating moment for me. I felt this process was not for me at some point. Like, what's happening? Why am I not getting this? Some people sit for it once and then they get it. Why is this a problem for me? And I kind of think I would blame it on me not using the right materials. Yeah,
Okay.
because I was not using the right materials to study. I was using the nursing materials to study, and you know,
Mhm.
I felt it was the same thing. Because back in Nigeria, you nursing and midwifery are usually interrelated, but here in the UK, it's very distinct.
Yeah.
Nurses are on their own, midwives are on their own. Same thing in the world, like they are very distinct. You can't be a nurse midwife and then you want to work, you know, as both in the same place. Is it that you're working as a nurse or you're working as a midwife? So they are very, very distinct. And same thing with the CBT exams for nurses and midwives. They have different materials. And during my first and second attempt, I was using the wrong materials. And then it was later on, with the help of showunmioclock, thank you, and Omo Lara and other people as well, I was able to get the right things, get the right information, sit for it again, and then I passed it on my third attempt.
So, what was going through your mind, knowing that if you failed the third exam, you would have to start the whole process all over
Yeah,
again? Like, what
yeah.
gave you that courage? If it was me, to be honest, I don't think, I don't know what
Ah,
I would have done.
God. Like seriously. So the first and second attempts, I wrote it close to each other. And the reason I did this was because I had my nursing council exam for the post basic nursing coming up in November. And I wrote my first attempt in August. I didn't pass it. I like late August. And then 10 days after, I went for my second attempt because I wanted to clear this out of the way to be able to, have time to prepare for my nursing council exams and all of that. So I didn't know that, I was going there with all that tension. I don't want this to, I don't want the two exams to come to be in the same time and all of that. And me, I'm this kind of tense person. When I have something to do, I want to do it and clear it out of the way before doing the next thing. I just want to clear the table. Yeah. So I wrote those ones close to each other. And then the third attempt, I had to give like I think it was 3 weeks or 1 month in between before I was able to write it. And when I was writing that third attempt, I was like, God, this is the last one. I don't want to remain in Nigeria by this period. Like next year, this I don't want to remain here. Look at me, I'm in your table. What do I do? it was it was really, really devastating. It was like this Who Wants to Be a Billionaire, Be Millionaire TV show, and then yeah, it was really, really. I don't know how to describe that moment, but I was really tense. So,
Okay.
yeah, I
It's
was.
so funny. Well done. You've done so well. So, how about your IELTS exam? How did you do it? Was that easier for you to pass?
Oh, that was very, very easy for me. I did that on my first attempt and I used 2 weeks to study for that one. So I went to the, CBT, what's it called? I went to the CBT venue with
With
the
the same
mindset that okay, I've passed my IELTS with 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks of study, I passed IELTS. I got 7.5. So I'm a brilliant girl now. I'm very, very brilliant. Let me just go there. And CBT show me what.
So how did you prepare for your IELTS? Being that a lot of people, fail their IELTS even more than once or
Yeah,
twice. How did you
yeah.
prepare for your IELTS?
I would say it was great because I didn't know what I was doing then when I was doing it. I didn't know what I was doing, but what I did was that I actually scheduled my time. So because during the period I was doing my IELTS, I was also preparing for my psychiatric exam. We're doing our post basic psychiatric this thing exam then, and I was in posting in Benin Uselu. So I was preparing for my psychiatric exam and I needed to clear that one off the ground as well before so that I can get the focus to write that exam. So I had to give 2 weeks of my time out of the 1 month I had before the exam to, okay, say the first week I'm going to just start reading and getting to know everything about IELTS. And then the second week, going to intensify my study and, get the whole grasp of it. And at that point, I didn't really know anything about this IELTS reading being a backlog for some people because it tends to, draw people back a lot and people are scared of it. I didn't know about this. Probably if I did, I would be scared as well. And then I'll go into the venue with that same fear that
Yeah.
I might fail it. Yeah. So I didn't have any of this. I didn't even know everything about IELTS the time I was starting. I had no knowledge of it. I only knew the full meaning. English language, international English language. That was all I knew. So during that first week, I was able to, get information, get to YouTube, use materials on YouTube, videos, E2 language. I made use of E2
Yeah,
language a lot. It was
quite
very
very
helpful.
yeah,
Very
very
helpful. I also used IELTS by Liz, or with Liz, or something like
yes.
that. And then I also bought this course, and the course was actually telling me, I bought this course on Facebook, and the course was just a video telling me to go to E2 language to study with their material.
People making money out of you.
Seriously, I was like, okay, is this the information you had for 12,500 naira?
Oh my
Anyways,
goodness.
it was good because that was why I knew about E2
It's
language. And
language.
yeah,
Everybody, don't be like Joy. I have someone that can help you pass your IELTS exam. It because he
yeah.
does now tutoring and
Mm,
batch tutoring. So if you are interested, I'm also going to link it in the description box below. So
mm.
apart from your CBT, which like you've explained your situation, what was also challenging for you apart from CBT?
Okay, so another challenging thing I experienced was I think it was two. So the first part was, okay, I've done my CBT exam. The next thing was to get jobs now, to start applying for jobs. And this was like, getting long and long and long, and we weren't getting, I got an interview the first time very, very fast. Like immediately I started applying, but it was for a band seven, because I was applying for different bands. I wasn't really applying with with focus. I was just applying anyhow, and I got the band seven interview, but they said, it's band seven and they can't give me, because
Of course.
they have to employ from band five. And
Mhm.
so I had to keep applying, and it took a while. It took a really, a long while before I was able to get. I think I did over 400 applications, like 400 and
Mhm.
something,
Good.
before I was able to get job offers. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I had to start choosing, like, which job would I go with, like which hospital would I go with, because they were not coming frequently at that time.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really love your resilience. Like when those times you used to disturb me, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm busy. I'm busy. But you're like, please help us with this. And you and I think three other ladies, we
Yes, we were for that.
questions together and all of that. Thank you so much for that. I hope this is going to inspire someone that is also
Yeah.
struggling with one exam or the other. So, what are you going to say to someone maybe who has failed their IELTS, their CBT, or even their OSCE? What are you going to say to them? What do you have to say to them?
Yeah, I would say don't let the first trial like stop you from trying again, because you know when I came out of that exam hall that very day of my CBT, and I saw that I failed both part one and part two, like common numeracy, I failed it, and I failed the other. I didn't go there with enough knowledge about what the whole thing was all about, but I thought I did. I went into the exam hall with the intention, okay, I knew what I was doing, but then I came out and I saw that, oh, look at my results, and I was really, really devastated. I was really, really devastated. I was like, what do I do? I just had to re-strategize. Okay, what am I going to do about this now? Okay, the materials I've been using have been wrong and all that. And I even had to print out a lot of nursing materials at that point. And it was
Mm,
just all a waste. I spent a lot of money on that. So I had to, start meeting people. I met Molara, and people, like different people, reaching out to people for help, because you really can't do it alone. You still have to, you have to disturb your predecessors, even though they are busy with work, disturb them. And it was that disturb that with that disturb that I was able to get help. So get help from people you can get help from. Use materials online, go to YouTube, solve the internet, like get enough information as much as you can, and don't relent on the process. Apart from the CBT, apart from IELTS and all of that, I also had challenge with my visa processing and all that. It was during the Ukraine war at that point, so visa was delaying.
mm,
Visa biometrics and all of that. They were delaying to release our visa, give us decision, and it took like 6 weeks before they were able to make a decision on my visa. It
mm.
was really, really, it's a challenging thing entirely as a whole. But you just have to keep the faith alive, know what you want, and have the faith to hold on to till you get it. Don't
Yeah.
just relate to the process. Take all of the troubles, all of the failures, all of the as part of the process, and I'm not remembering any of the pains I went through in the past now.
All right. So how did you do it? Even financially, you were going to school, having to write all these
Yes.
exams are quite expensive for people who cannot maybe afford to read.
Yeah.
How did you do it, please?
That's another major part of the whole process as well, the finance thing. Because I wasn't being sponsored by my parents or any other person. I was doing self sponsor. So I work at the end of the and the place I was working was not a government hospital. It was a private hospital where they pay you 20,000 naira, and
Oh
I was
my,
doing permanent
as a
night.
registered midwife.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. I had to stay there because I was schooling and doing permanent nights. I go to class in the morning, in the afternoon I go and rest, and then in the evening I go to work, come back in the morning, go back to class. So I was doing all of those, trying to work in two places in order to be able to raise enough funds for myself. It was still the same, chicken change. And every time I get salary at the end of the month, what I do is I use it to do something. Say for instance, I get paid this month, is either I use it to register for my IELTS, the next month I'm going to use the other one to register for my CBT. And the
Mm,
little changes I have left, I was gathering them because I knew I would need them in future. And actually this whole process, although it costs money, it's you don't have to gather all the money in one place before you start. you
mm-hmm.
know if I had waited to say, okay, I want to have 1 million in my account before I start, I would never have it. I would still be in Nigeria at this point. But
Yeah.
because every time, every little money I have, I put it into something for the process, like towards my dream, towards what I want to go, towards being a UKROM. I put the money into it. um you know at some point I was also borrowing. I will
Mm,
borrow from friends, like, please give me at the end of the month, I'm going to pay you back. And when they, because if that thing is urgent at that point and you don't have it, you just have to get help from friends. And they'll give me at the end of the month, I pay them back. And that was how I was just able to struggle on my own, cause I just didn't want to involve my parents or involve any other person in this thing, because they probably wouldn't allow me.
well done. So, like at the end of it all, you've been working in the UK for almost a year now.
Yeah.
Do you think all those stress, all the emotional trauma that you've been through this process, because it's very emotional, don't you
Ah,
people come and see days that will cry and be so emotional, like I
yeah.
don't think there's anything at the end of this tunnel, but we kept pushing on. So what would you say? Do you think it's worth it at all? I think I had someone even ask me that question. Do you think it's worth it?
It is very, very, like, it's worth it a lot. I mentioned my salary just now, 20,000 naira. It's 20 pounds here in the UK, oh. And
Oh my
that's like
goodness.
2 hours work, like
Mm,
your 2 hours pay, or 1.5 hour, which is
mm,
nothing. So that was what I was paid every month. That was my take home. And it's very, very much worth it if you look at the whole thing. And if, for instance, this is not the place you want to, uh, be at forever, you can just start from somewhere. Start from somewhere. I don't want to go into details, but just know that the whole process is worth it. It's worth
okay.
it. I don't remember my tears of yesterday. At least this point, um, in fact, let me leave it at that.
Talk. What do you want to say? Tell us. We want to learn from you.
There were times, there were times I go to bed hungry without food. There were
Mm,
times I eat once a day, you
mm,
know, during this process, because I just had to get to this point. I just had to get to the UK. So I had to put in everything,
you
put
have.
in all the work, or then you just sacrifice everything for it. And at the end of the day, I would say I'm grateful for, like, I'm happy I did that. I'm happy. It's a very comfortable place to be in, and the support in the UK, support in the world is really, really amazing. Working with colleagues that are ready to help you at any point in time, that are ready to give you a hand, and nobody's a boss, things like that. And then the pay as well, just everything is worth it. And
So, how would you classify your experience now that you've been working close to a year? How do you want to classify your experience working as a midwife? Because a lot of people they still have this fear. I know someone told me that when you work in the UK, 25 years from after you deliver each baby, they can still open litigation, which is true. But
Yes.
how do you want to like classify that fear? Do you see yourself dwelling in that fear from time to time?
Not at all. Not at all. First off, I feel and I think and I know that it's actually easier to practice midwifery in the UK than practice nursing. Because
Hmm.
midwifery is sort of a little bit more comfortable than nursing. Because in nursing, you're put in a ward where there are thousands, like many patients in you. You're just confused, and that's the place where you're prone to making more errors than when you're doing, for instance, one-on-one care. Say you're working in the labor ward as a midwife, you're one-on-one care. You're focused on that particular woman. You know what you're doing. If you know your onions, you know, okay, this is what I'm expected to do if I see baby's head coming. There is no way you're going to find errors errors occur and all of that, but it's not something that just start happening every now and then every day and all that litigations rise. I heard about that litigation thing and all that. Are you sure you'll be able to practice midwifery in the UK? There are a lot of litigation, this and that, but I don't see it coming to me, because as long as I know that, okay, when I go to work, I'm focused on doing my work. I'm focused on doing what I'm asked to do. I'm not going to do what I was not trained to do. Because that's
Yeah.
one thing about the UK. You are not allowed to do what you're not trained to do. So if at the end of the day you now go and do it, it's all on your pin, on you. So
Yeah.
focus on what you are trained to do. Focus on what you are allowed to do. If you are not competent in it, simply say, I am not competent. Get someone else to do it. There are many people in the world to do it. Life is easy. It's simple. It's just chicken.
Thank you very much. We've had a wonderful time having you on here,
Thank
and
you.
will be like the final part. Do you have anything to say to people? Anything at all? Just final parting words.
I just want to say that, you guys should just keep up the whole process, and that especially at the stage where you're applying for jobs and you're not getting response from employers, you've reviewed your supporting statement, your CV, and everything is okay, but you're still not getting response. A time will come, you'll be pursued with job offers,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, I had 4 job offers that I had to select from which and which do I want to go to. So you just have to keep doing it and keep applying. Don't give up hope. Don't do one and say, I want to rest. I've done one, they've not answered me. Because there are a lot of people doing this thing. So there are a lot of people applying to the UK to become nurses and it's not just you. So know that you're in a crowd, and let your supporting statement definitely speak for you when you're not there. And keep up the faith, keep doing it, keep putting in the energy, the work, and at the end of the day, definitely you'll see results.
Oh, it's so nice having you here. It's really a refreshing
That,
moment for me, and I'm
thank
sure it's going to
you.
be the same for people on my channel. If you've not followed Joy to the World, please just I'm going to keep a link in the description box. You can just go
Thank
through.
you. Thank
There
you so
we
much.
already has like lots of videos in there, and you can also learn from our personal experience. Me, I was never paid 20,000. Is it for Gary? What I want to use it if you don't speak to people, you don't really know what
That's true.
experience they have gone through. You're really
That's
strong. You've done it. The reason why I actually brought you to this channel was I remembered that it was your third exam, and I was like, wow. I was
yeah,
scared. I was scared for you. I was scared.
yeah,
I knew
yeah.
what was at stake. Your 140 pounds has
Found,
gone.
yes,
Everything is gone. You have to start all over again. And I was like, oh my goodness, let's skip even some questions that you know we'll
yeah,
discuss the answers, the rationale, the ones I didn't know.
yeah,
We had
yeah.
to like just discuss it together. The ones that the answers were wrong somewhere. There was a way we had to do that together. And
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
really inspired me to
Yeah.
contribute to our channel. Thank you so much for having
Thank you
us.
so much, Shelby.
Take care. Bye.
You're right.